Massive thanks to the mad lads and ladies supporting the channel. The doggos say thanks. Hey everyone, it's time for some more Monster Hunter, and today I learned something new. Today I learned that Queen of the Desert is actually one of the modded quests, because if we look here, I've technically completed the 5-star quest. Now, I thought I was crazy at first, because I had to reroll like half a dozen times to get this quest to pop up. For a second there, I was thinking, wait, there's no way. But yeah, no, the quest is still here. So here's Queen of the Desert. It's one of the Western release quests. It's one of the modded quests, technically, but it's from the Western version of the game. A shame they can mod all these quests in, but not mod in the, oh, and I forgot to empty my pouch again. But that's okay, I'll just discard some stuff. Or probably not even carve. It's fine either way, because I'm fine on money and I'm fine on materials, because it's all our ink anyway. But like I was saying, I think it's funny that, I think it's kind of sad. Oh, not really funny, but a little disappointing, not on the ability of the modder, but just, you know, the fact that it's not really possible, I don't think, that they were able to mod in the quests, but they weren't able to mod in the dual blades. Because, yeah, that would have been nice being able to try them out. I will say that for those of you who are interested, sometime in the near future, I am most likely going to be making my totally original crap guide to the hammer. And I don't know, maybe it's just because I have lost all care in the world about appearing cringe. How did I get a plesioth? Okay. Anyway, maybe it's because I've lost all care in the world about appearing cringe to somebody, but at this point, it's basically, for me, like, oh, what was I trying to say? Pretty much what I was trying to get at is that I think I'm going to be making, like, a funny little rap music video. Now, the problem with that is, for those of you who don't know, my totally original crap guides are completely and very heavily based off of the crap guides for Monster Hunter from, who was it? I am so sorry. Was it Joe Cat? Joe Cat. Yes, Joe Cat, because I remember Joe Crap was the one who was, like, the rude guy, but he stopped that because he didn't like being a mean person, and that's totally understandable. I think that's kind of respectable, honestly. You know, just not want to be a mean person in general, even if it is just for fun. But as I was saying, my totally original crap guides are based off of Joe Cat's and his or crap guides for Monster Hunter. However, he is unfortunately no longer doing them. And unlike me, he uses like a bunch of stock gifs and funny, not just haha funnies. Joe Cat actually draws. Like, he actually makes art for his crap guides. And honestly, I think that is highly commendable because that isn't something I could probably ever do. But yeah, like I was saying, I know that one thing he did was he made like a sort of rap video, I think, for the Dungeons and Dragons one. And I kind of wanted to make, maybe not a rap video, but like a sort of poetry one, like a sort of Dr. Seuss book sort of situation with the hammer, but I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to see what happens with that. When it comes to the deal with the Rathian, the only saving grace, to my knowledge at least, is that I don't think Rathian goes to the desert areas, like the proper desert areas, so I actually shouldn't need a cool drink dealing with her. However, it is sometimes kind of difficult to figure out exactly where she is or where she's going, because obviously I'm not very familiar with fighting Rathian in the desert. But with this being the Queen of the Desert mission, it shouldn't be too difficult. As long as I keep beating up her legs and pretty much playing it safe, then I shouldn't have too much to worry about. As a matter of fact, just to make it easy on myself, I'm going to go ahead and kill these Apsaros just to kind of get it out of the way. Now, I'll be honest, I probably should have gotten the Dragon Breaker Hammer out of my item box to make this as fast as I can, but I'll probably worry about doing that whenever I actually deal with the Nobilis. So, that being said, I'll just go ahead and see if I can beat up Rathian in this one. Hopefully it shouldn't take more than 10 or 15 minutes like it did with the Plesioth. Oh, looks like I found the Rathian. Alright, first thing we want to do is, of course, get that paintball in, because Rathian likes to move around a lot. I'm not exactly sure if she's going to be leaving the area. No, I actually thought she was leaving the area for a second there. Oh, or maybe she will. We'll have to see, but in the meantime, I'll just go. Yeah, I think Rathian's actually leaving. These Genprey probably infinitely respawn, but I'm gonna see if I can beat up some of them and try to get that out of the way at least. If they don't infinitely respawn, I'll just go ahead and wipe them out. These Vespoid definitely infinitely respawn, because they almost always do. But the Genprey, at least, I should be able to take out some of them and make this a little bit easier on myself. Of course, for those of you who don't know, that's why I went and dealt with the Apsaros first, because if you look at Area 3, Rathian's de-aggroed, which is nice, but yeah, that's where the Apsaros that I just killed were, so now I'll be able to go over there, and hopefully the Apsaros shouldn't be in the way for me to deal with them, and I can just focus entirely on Rathian. Yeah, so otherwise I'd have like 5 Apsaros to deal with. What I'm going to do, though, is as long as she doesn't fly off... Oh, man, and she just went right into it. Yeah, sometimes that happens. That's just like a Gen 1 issue. I actually should have blocked there, but I figured that was coming. If you attack a monster, it'll like completely skip its animation of, I guess, noticing you. And if that happens, then obviously, yeah, they can get like an instant attack in. And there's like no telegraph at all. That will, of course, make them make it a lot easier for them to get a free hit on you, but thankfully, with Rathian at least, she doesn't seem to do a lot of damage to me, although she is getting a lot of hits to me, so yeah, I figured I'd get hit by that if I didn't block, so I'm just gonna... Oh, wow. Yeah, so the instant charges when it does come to Rathian, you do gotta be careful of them, and wow, I'm probably gonna get hit again. Yeah, there isn't really much I could have done there, but thankfully I was able to tank it. Really, it's kind of hard to not get caught into a combo once the monster gets a couple hits in on you, because especially if they get that stun in, you're pretty much toast in many cases unless you're kind of overpowered for where you're at like I am right now. Obviously, with me using high-rank gear, the low-rank stuff is going to be doing a lot of damage for me, but either way, I know that I still should be careful because, you know, like y'all saw before, it's pretty easy to get caught up into a whole combo, especially if you're playing recklessly. Really, when it does come to Rathian, though, I mean, yeah, her charges do come out pretty quick, and they can do a lot of damage if you get comboed up in them, but really the biggest thing you need to worry about is her tail flip, because the tail flip, obviously it does have that poison element, and if you get hit by poison, I believe it'll take off half your health. Of course, using the Mecha Nutrients here really has helped in terms of increasing the amount of health I can take. I think that'll give me like 1 free hit with Rathian total, you know, per full health bar, so as long as I keep my health up, I shouldn't have too much to worry about. All I really gotta do is try to focus on her head and focus on her thighs as well. Although, I will ask you don't take it out of context, because, you know me. There's always something to be taken out of context, am I right? Alright, looks like Rathian is enraged, so I'm gonna have to be extremely careful. Of course, if she does this triple fireball, that's actually the best thing that could be done for me right now. Obviously, the tailspins are the second best thing. Third best thing are the charges, because at least I can avoid them, but yeah, the instant charges, I guess those are kind of the worst things she can do. But when it comes to... Oh, there's also the bite. The bite's probably the third best thing. Tail flip, though, again, definitely the worst thing, because if you get poisoned, that'll take off like half your health total if you don't have antidotes. Like me, because I never seem to have the conscious thought to bring antidotes into a Rathian fight, because, you know me, I'm smart. Obviously, the biggest problem with Rathian is her getting caught up in a sort of charge loop, because if she does get caught in a charge loop, you're kind of in a bad spot, because all you can really do is wait it out. So, if she does get caught in charge loop, yeah, there isn't really much you can do. Now, I did kind of mess up. I forgot to purchase a full stack of potions, so I only came in with 2, and with me getting comboed as much as I am being quite terrible at the game, yeah, it's definitely making things a lot more complicated. Of course, I did forget to use my whetstones, but I'm just going to have to try to make the most of this and take out some of these Apsaros real quick. And hopefully, I don't get completely messed up. Because, yeah, these Apsaros are definitely, as aggressive as they are, going to be a huge problem. Of course, I'm going to safety paintball like I normally do and just try to get Rathian caught up. That way I can not have to worry about her disappearing on the map for me. Obviously, though, with the fireballs coming out, yeah, just as long as the as long as the Apsaros are between me and the fireballs, I shouldn't have too much to worry about, but at the same time, there is still the problem of just, in general, the Apsaros dying, and then all of a sudden, like, right as they die, their body, you know, they lose clipping on their body, and then the fireball hits me. So that'd be a really awkward and unfortunate situation to be in, so I always just try to play it safe, just to be sure. Alright, I was able to get a knockdown Rathian, but it looks like she's enraged, so I'm gonna try to block. There we go. I wasn't in too much trouble from the tail itself, it seems, because I was definitely sure the tail was gonna hit me, but with her being enraged, she's gonna do a lot more damage, so I'm gonna try to play it safe. As long as she gets those fireballs out, then I can kind of just skirt around here and kind of come over to her backside and do a little bit of damage there. But with her doing the charges and the tail, and oh wow, yeah, that was definitely close. Honestly, that probably would have been a death sentence for me, because with me having no antidotes and no potion, getting poisoned this time is definitely going to be the end of me. So now that she's done, I'm just going to, oh, roll out the way, roll out the way. Oh my goodness gracious, almighty. Whenever she does charge though, the only saving grace to that really is you can kind of fall behind her and get some free damage in. If you can catch her. So if you got like a fast weapon like a sword and shield or dual blades, you can probably get a little bit of free damage in, but obviously, you know, when something like that happens and then it's like the game glitching out, that's where it can definitely become a problem. So all you can really do, just try to follow along, kind of chip her health down as much as you can, and try not to whiff every single attack like I seem to be doing here, and hopefully you can get her whittled down in time. Obviously though, if she does the fireballs, you're in pretty good luck. I actually think she's about to start limping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of the way here because I thought she was about to do her tail attack. And as soon as she does start limping, I'll probably just run back to camp and get some healing in there, but I'm not 100% sure. Also, for those of you who don't know, sometimes it's a good idea to not get up right away, because whenever you're on the ground, you actually have invincibility frames. So the best thing to do if you think the monster's about to attack and you see they're about to attack and you're on the ground, just stay on the ground for a moment, and hopefully they won't hit you with their follow-up attack, because that's how a lot of times I end up getting comboed by the monster. I actually get up a little bit too quickly, and then all of a sudden they're able to get that combo attack in and do a lot of damage to me. Or just getting caught in the legendary Beyblade of old. She's probably going to charge after this. Oh no, she's actually doing the flyback. So I want to try to avoid getting caught up in the corner, as usual, because they can get caught up in the charge loop. But as long as I keep her in the corner and I kind of chip at her health and then dodge out the way, yeah, just like this. So I'm going to go ahead and get some distance just to play it safe, even though she's definitely charging, and that would have been a problem if it hit me. But yeah, she's probably flying away. Looks like she isn't limping, which is unfortunate, but I'm going to use this time to use a whetstone, and hopefully she doesn't land and hit me. But I think she's just kind of resetting herself real quick, and then she's going to fly away, because that seems to be a bug with the Desert Rathian, where she'll kind of just regularly reset herself during the quest right before she actually flies away. But I'm not, yeah, it looks like she's limping out, so I'm probably just going to go ahead and run back to the camp. Thankfully I used that Sanctity paintball, so I'll have enough time to do so, and once I rest at camp, I'll come back and then beat up Rathian. I'm thinking she's going to Area 3. I believe that is where she actually rests and heals. So I'm going to run back to camp real quick. I'm going to get some healing real quick. Then I'm going to run back and I'm going to beat up Rathian. I can't remember, but there might have been a barrel bomb. So I'll probably go ahead and use that because, you know, I might as well get the free damage in, right? Although now that I think about it, I don't know if a barrel bomb, like, it's probably just a small barrel bomb, and I don't think it's going to do more damage than just a regular, you know, leaping attack for my current weapon. Honestly, what I'm probably going to do is I'm just going to spam the small barrel bomb, see if I can put them both down real quick, and then dodge out the way. I probably don't have enough time to do both of them before dodging out the way, but I am definitely going to try anyways. I'm also going to go ahead and use this nutrients, since I don't have any healing, because obviously I'm not a smart person, and I think the Mega Nutrients might have maxed out my health. Oh, no, it didn't. So that's good, that's good. I actually should have used the nutrients before I fell asleep, but it's all good either way. That's pretty much wasted at this point, but I'm just going to go ahead and put down these small barrel bombs and hopefully dodge out of the way in time, and then we can get us some free damage in on Rathian. Now, she is going to be enraged right out the gate, so I do have to be careful of that. I was actually expecting her to do a tail flip there, or not tail flip, the tail spin attack, but since she's not doing it, I was just, yeah, that's what I was working on doing. I was trying to be able to charge, because I don't want her doing her fireballs over there, because I could be at risk of getting caught in the corner as well. Also, some about Rathian and some other monsters, if they do fly up, they'll sometimes, like, drop down on top of you. It won't do a lot of damage, but it will, like, knock you away, so you do have to be careful of that. Like I was saying, though, if you can just bait out these fireballs, you're kind of in luck there, and especially if you can get under that first tail whip, you can get some free damage in. Unfortunately, it does look like I'm in a bit of a tight spot here. She's going to charge, so, yeah, there we go. It does get pretty nice, actually, getting to that point in the game where you can kind of predict what a monster is going to do. Even if it's not 100%, I'd say if you get to where you can predict like 70 or 80% of the monster's moves, you're kind of at that point where you can probably get through the game pretty easy. And honestly, if I can ever get to this point with Monster Hunter DOS, I'll probably never struggle with a Monster Hunter game again. At least in terms of, like, you know, it just being such a literal wall that I can't progress anywhere. The only time, besides that, I'd actually be worried about difficulty is in Monster Hunter Frontier with its Zenith monsters and Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate with its Deviant monsters. And I guess Monster Hunter Generations, because I am going to be playing that before Generations Ultimate since it's technically the first iteration. I'm not really sure if there's any story differences, but I'm not going to be playing like the Western release of Monster Hunter after this one. But I am willing to do something like playing Monster Hunter Generations instead of, and then Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. And of course, I'll be playing G and Freedom and everything else, just to kind of see the differences of them all. It is nice just being able to archive these games. For me, this series is one of the best gaming experiences I personally ever have. And while I'm not going to say Monster Hunter is the best, game series ever made, when it comes to just, sheer fun, that feeling of accomplishment, I would say it does rival Dark Souls. They both scratch a different itch. Dark Souls is more of like a puzzle experience, I guess, in my opinion, and Monster Hunter is more like a boss rush. But at the same time, it's still a really interesting, and like they both do the same thing in a different way, and in a very specific way that they can stand out between each other, I guess, if that makes sense. So you can't really compare Dark Souls to Monster Hunter, but at the same time, you can still say they both scratch that same itch of feeling accomplished and just feeling like you're progressing towards a better goal. The difference, I would say, is Dark Souls is more of a story, linear progression type of thing, and then obviously progressing towards certain weapons and armor if you know about them. Whereas Monster Hunter, it's like progressing towards a certain point with specific weapons and armor. Like, the armor set is the reward, instead of like, I don't know. Maybe you could say the same thing about Dark Souls. It's a little hard to explain, but maybe I'll do it at some point if I ever do like a retrospective on this or something. That said, thank everybody so much for watching. If you liked the video, leave a like on it, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and comment down below on what to expect whenever I fight the Monoblos tomorrow. That said, if you want to support the future of the channel, check out my Patreon linked in the description below, or become a YouTube member. It's only $1 a month. And subscribe if you want to see more content like this. My birthday is May the 11th, and I would definitely appreciate getting to 1,000 subscribers by then. That said, if you want to join a community of other people who love and enjoy Monster Hunter, check out my Discord linked in the description below. That's it. Thank everybody so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye now.